Let's continue chapter 4, that is metals and non-metals. Today we are going to start a new topic, that is corrosion of metals. When you will observe objects in your surrounding, then you will see a reddish brown layer on the iron objects. In the same way, copper objects show green color layer and the silver objects turn black with time. This is nothing but it is a corrosion of metals. Here you can see an example of corrosion of iron. So the metal chain of iron has turned into reddish brown in color and lost its shine, and the rust continues to form till the iron is used up. Corrosion of metal is actually the gradual destruction of materials, usually metals, by chemical reaction with their environment. Or we can say it is the slow eating of metals when it is exposed to air and moisture. Here you can see a rusted chunk of iron and a rusted iron object. So, when the iron objects are exposed to air and moisture, it means the iron has combined with water and oxygen, so it easily forms the rust. Rust is nothing but a reddish brown layer over the iron, and it is the hydrated oxide of iron, that is Fe2O3. So it is actually a metal oxide and it is basic in nature. Let's see what are the conditions necessary for rusting. We can investigate it through an activity. We can take 3 nails in 3 test tubes. In test tube A, we have added some distilled water and we have put the nail. In test tube B, there is no air and the level of water is sealed with the oil. And in test tube C, there is no water but the air is there. And we have put calcium chloride as a dehydrating agent. Means it absorbs any moisture if it is there. So we can leave the test tube for 2-3 days, and after 2-3 days we will observe that in test tube A there is some reddish brown layer over the nail because it has rusted. So it proves that both oxygen and water are necessary for rusting. But in test tube B and C, there is no change in the nail. It remains as it was before. So, oxygen and water, these are the conditions necessary for rusting. Now let's come to corrosion in copper. Here you can see corroded copper object. So, when the copper object come in contact with air and moisture, then the copper object get coated with a greenish color layer. The greenish color layer is nothing but copper carbonate, which is a mixture of 2 compounds, that is copper carbonate and copper hydroxide. Next type of corrosion we can see in silver objects. Here you can see a corroded silver object. So when the silver objects come in contact with the air, then we will see they tarnish black in color. Actually, silver does not combine with oxygen, but when silver articles are exposed to air, they turn black due to their reaction with gases like hydrogen sulfide. hydrogen sulfide is present in air, it reacts with silver to form silver sulfide, which is black in color. Let's study some of the methods by which we can prevent the corrosion of metals. Corrosion can be prevented if the direct contact of metal with the air and moisture can be blocked. So, the first method is oiling and greasing. The iron objects or the parts of machine can be coated with a thin layer of grease or oil, and this prevents the direct contact of metal with the air. The second method is galvanization. Metals, or we can say iron, can be prevented from corrosion by plating them with a coating of zinc, and this is called galvanization. Third method is electroplating. This is another useful method to prevent metals from corrosion or rusting. In this process, the reactive metal is electroplated with less reactive metal. For example, tin is mostly electroplated on iron metals to prevent them from corrosion. The last method of preventing metals from corrosion is alloying. First, we need to understand what is an alloy. An alloy is a mixture of two or more metals in a definite proportion. Alloys have properties that are different from the metals they contain. This makes them more useful than the pure metal alone. For example, alloys are often harder than the metal they contain. Bronze was the useful alloy used in the ancient time. It was made by mixing tin and copper. Nowadays, stainless steel is used, and it is made by mixing nickel and chromium metal. And stainless steel is used for making utensils and machine parts. Similarly, alloy magnesium is made by mixing aluminium with magnesium, and it is a strong alloy, and it is used in making the bodies of aircrafts. And the best part of the alloy is that they can prevent the metal from corrosion. I hope you must have understood the topic very well. Thank you and have a nice day.